If I expose myself to the world, if I show them just what I can do, then I will never be able to fit in. I will always be on the run. I will always be on my own. I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. This is Being the Other. Let's get started. Welcome back. This is Being the Other. I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. It's a pleasure, as always, to produce these casts for yourself. I thought what I would do this week is actually start with a quote from Superman, the comic book, year one, which was out maybe, 3-4 years ago now, I think, probably. That quote there, it could have been a quote from anything. I've chosen that particular quote to actually highlight the problem that the other has when it tries to just be itself. You know, the last video that I produced for this channel involved talking about othering. This one actually takes it a stage further and looks at some of the problems that the other has in actually just allowing themselves to be fully who they are. It's not a straightforward process to say, okay, if I can embrace my sense of otherness, then people will accept me. No, it's not often the case. Often what we do is we suppress huge parts of who we are in order to be accepted by a perceived majority, a perceived subject, that which we actually want to be a part of in some way. You know, let me give you an example from my own personal sort of history, if you like. You know, my father, who came across here into the UK, where I'm actually recording these from, back in the late 1940s, he came here on a diet of Savile Row suits and so on. We've talked about this in previous casts. He struggled to just allow himself to be himself and fought very hard to fit in with a British way of being. In politics, we see this all the time. The idea that you're supposed to follow a route towards assimilation, you're supposed to follow the rules and the regulations and the cultural norms of the culture you fit in with. The problem with that, though, is you have to put to one side huge aspects of who you are in order to do that. So instead of being able to actually hold that tension between the two different worlds, what one then does is actually suppresses huge parts of who they happen to be in order to fit in, or they risk rejection by the subject by actually just maintaining their sense of individuality. It's more about the tension, that's why I'm talking about this week. It's more about the tension that's the important part here. This is the important thing. How do we manage this? How do we actually hold this tension is hugely important. Assimilation doesn't allow for that. What assimilation actually does is say, actually, we don't want that tension between the two worlds, between the two cultures, two genders, two types of sexuality, whatever it might be. We just want you to be like us. That is hugely flawed and psychologically very detrimental, I will argue here, and I've argued this many, many a time. Because what you're actually asking the other person to do is to form a false sense of self, whereby they're not actually allowed to be who they are meant to be. They have to be who you want them to be in order to feel comfortable that you can actually have the other in and amongst you. Now, I know there's a lot here that I'm putting on the table, but it's worth acknowledging, worth seeing, worth spotting that in order for the other to actually stand up and be who they're meant to be, they often have to risk ostracization, destruction, annihilation, many different things. It doesn't always mean that how the other wants to be is that threatening towards a subject. What it can mean is that it's just alien to the subject and therefore seen as threatening. Does that make sense? I hope it does. As always, I'm going to keep these fairly short for the time being because I think it's worth just giving you a snippet, 5 minutes before you step out into your day and do whatever else you're going to be doing. As always, it's a pleasure to be talking to yourselves. I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. This has been The Other. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.